Hi, this is Dodger and you're watching my show. I gotta say, just as a public service announcement, if your friend ever bleaches their hair and your first inclination is to say, "So are you having more fun?" Just don't ask that. Just don't make that joke. Go do your taxes. Instead, do something productive other than making that joke. No, I'm not having more fun. My life is actually exactly the same because my hair doesn't define me. So for news, PAX East 2015 3-day passes are already sold out. Of course they are. This year it goes from March 6th to March 8th. Oh my gosh, that's hard to say. March 6th to March 8th. And it is in Boston, just like every year. If you didn't get a 3-day pass, the 3-day passes were $95 and each day pass, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is $45. So if you want one, they literally just went on sale and they're already almost gone. So you should probably like get on it. And look, if you miss out and you don't get your pass, that's fine because there are like 8 billion other PAXs that you can go to. As a Sonic fan, I would love to take a second to talk about how broken Sonic Boom is. So like immediately after the game came out, they figured out a glitch, right? Where if you're Knuckles, I think you can only do it with Knuckles, but if you're Knuckles, you can pause and jump, pause, jump, and just jump infinitely. And then that helps you glitch through walls and stuff. It's very useful to a speedrunner. And of course, speedrunner Paraxo managed to completely break the game on his 4th playthrough. He got the current world record for speedrunning Sonic Boom at under an hour. It's like 51 minutes. Now I can't honestly say like Sonic Boom as a whole is a terrible game because I didn't play very much of it, but what I did play of it was just like kind of boring. It was very lackluster, aside from the fact that Knuckles is ripped out of his mind, which any of you who watch me often know that was really the big selling point for me. But like, if somebody on their 4th playthrough of your game can break it so entirely that the game lasts 50 minutes, it's a problem. It is really fun to watch though. I think that you should all go look at it. I'll even link you. I'll link you in the description because I am so generous. But I just personally love watching speedrunners. Oh my gosh, I will never forget watching the world record for Mario 64. Oh my god, that was just like, the tension was so high. But if you're not into speed throughs, which I totally get, it's fine, we can still be friends, then maybe you're interested in Final Fantasy 15, which I would just like to say for the record, just like every other Final Fantasy in the world, it looks beautiful. But I've learned, and you've learned, and really we've all learned that beauty only goes so far. So they released a 10-minute walkthrough, but not in the traditional sense of a walkthrough. It's not like, here, let's show you the entire game and how to play it. It's literally them walking around the world, actually jogging around the world. It's basically to show off their graphics. So they're like, 1080p, beautiful, here's our greenery, here's our monsters, here's our people, here's our cars. And again, looks amazing, looks so good. But what does that tell us? That tells us nothing. That tells us that while we're playing and pondering the fact that the game is extremely boring, we can say, well, but that dinosaur looks real dope. I just want you to prove me wrong. I just want you to prove me wrong and give us a real good Final Fantasy because all of the other ones lately have been real bad. To the point that I haven't even played beyond like a couple of hours of them, which is very sad. I used to be so into JRPGs, and now they're just all so lackluster. I've been going back to like old ones, and just the nostalgia factor keeps me going, right? I can't even tell you the number of times I've played Chrono Trigger. That game will never stop being awesome to me. And I'm like, what is so different about this game from all of the new games? It's not just the graphics, I'll tell you that much. If you played Destiny, perhaps you took part in the first Iron Banner. The Iron Banner is basically an event that happens where they strip everybody of their gear requirements and the only thing that you have to work off of are the weapons and armor and things that you find during the event. It's just kind of a way of leveling the playing field, in a sense. So Iron Banner 2.0 is happening. Here's the thing, we have no idea when it's happening. They're like, we'll give you at least 24 hours notice. Cool, thank you. Also, I totally forgot to say this earlier. If you took part in Iron Banner 1, any ranks that you got in Iron Banner 1, you keep. And they go on to Iron Banner 2. And that way you're getting new ranks, new rewards, etc, etc, etc. It keeps track of what you gained from the first one so that it doesn't repeat. At least that's what it sounds like. Guys, this week has just been a week of like broke-ass games. I mean, we've got Sonic Boom, we've got Warlords of Draenor, which I'm going to talk about as our final topic, And then we've also got Wildstar, which is having a huge issue with its economy right now. If you play Wildstar, you might have noticed that gardening was disabled for a while. That's because there was an exploit that was happening where people were just like figuring out how to get tons of money. And so all of these people were using the exploit I'm gonna try to like figure out how to explain this as a person who doesn't entirely understand economies and how they work. So you know how as a kid, when there's a country that's like not doing very well, your first thought is, why don't they just print more money? Well, the problem is the more money that you have, the less it's worth. So basically that is happening in Wildstar right now, where people are exploiting to get all of this money, and then the worth of that money is so much lower that the people who aren't using the exploit are basically now like dirt poor. So they're trying to fix it. They're basically saying, we're not gonna permanently ban the people who are using this exploit, which of course immediately the response to that is, why not? And then, you know, you get to throw in a little jab like, it's because they can't afford to lose the subscribers, But I don't know, I think it might also just be they want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, the number of people who, if they heard about this exploit, were like, ooh, I want to try that, right? Like, I think that that's kind of an innocent reaction. It's really natural for us as gamers to want to try glitches and try breaks that people find and be like, oh my gosh, that sounds really cool. Like, I want to try that. Oh, if I go over here and kick this tree 8 times, I'll start flying. I want to try that. And with the added incentive of money, more and more people are going to attempt that exploit, right? So I don't know, I kind of understand why they're saying, we don't want to permanently ban everybody who used this. They're feeling like they can handle it without having to do that, and they can just roll back some players, but I don't know. Wildstar is having a tough time, dude. Like, second quarter versus third quarter of this year was insane. The drop in the amount of money that they were getting was nuts. I feel so bad for them. But they didn't really make a game that held interest. And not only that, there were so many problems with rating and things like that, all of their endgame content. I think that it amounted to a situation where people said, well, I know that if I go play WoW, it's gonna work, right? Which sucks. Although, let's be honest, World of Warcraft is not working right now. Okay, let's talk about the World of Warcraft launch. So much drama, it's been amazing. As a person on the outside who has not even attempted to play this game because of the queues, I am enjoying so much the amount of drama. So first issue was that they knew that more people were going to come back, right? They knew that interest was pretty high in coming back to play Warlords of Draenor. What they didn't realize was the actual number of people who were going to come back to play Warlords of Draenor. Like, it was above and beyond anything that they could have hoped for, which, again, everyone is saying, well, that's a good problem to have. But, like, that's your moment, right? Launch day is your moment to really grab somebody, and if they're sitting in a queue for 8 hours, kind of a problem. Then Blizzard was DDoSed and the problems just multiplied. So not only now are they trying to figure out the population issues and fixing the servers, they're also dealing with this DDoS problem, yeah? Then on the WoW subreddit, r/WoW, one of the moderators decided in protest to shut down the subreddit entirely. And everyone on Reddit was like, what happened? Where did it go? Now the way that it was done did not come across as a protest. The way it was done came across as a rage quit. It literally just was there 1 second and then was gone. And no one knew why, nothing was communicated. And now they're like, well, you know, sometimes when you go dark with a subreddit, it really helps because it showcases how we're feeling, and it's an element of like good peaceful protest, right? But again, it was done out of the blue. There was no lead in. No one knew what was going on. It doesn't come across as a protest then. It comes across as a tantrum, especially after it's explained. Blizzard has, of course, been taking this very seriously. They've been updating people like pretty much every hour on what the issues are and how they're trying to fix it. There are a lot of problems that have been fixed. A lot of servers are allowing a bigger population, which is exactly what they needed. Unfortunately, now one of the big problems is questing. If you're trying to quest in that area, the amount of people who are all doing the same quest is crazy. And of course, depending on what server you're on, it's an area with both Alliance and Horde. So depending on what server you're on, there's either going to be a surplus of Horde or a surplus of Alliance. Very rarely is it 50-50. So if you're like the one little Horde baby who's like, I'm gonna go do this quest now, and you just get ganked, it's frustrating. So yeah, it's been interesting, loving the drama, keep it coming. Actually, don't keep it coming. I would love it for WoW to actually do well. And it seems like people are having fun. It's just these issues, I think, are scaring away new players, or players who have come back being like, I think WoW's gonna be really good now, and then they sit in a queue for 4 hours. So yeah, power to you, Blizzard. I hope that you get through this and maintain some of those new players. And I'm sorry that so many things have gone wrong, but as an outsider, it's been pretty entertaining. Anywho, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you would like to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope you guys have had an amazing week. And I will talk to you again on Sunday of next week. Also, side note before I go, Dandelion is back. For all of you who have been spamming my videos being like, where's Dandelion? What's going on with Dandelion? Did Cry die? It's back. It's here. You can calm down and go watch us try to touch a bunny butt. Okay, cool. See you. Bye! What happened? Where did it go?